An insect is endowed with human intellect and sight. Its habitat is in the center of a waving or undulating flag, or banner. Every area of that undulating flag or banner would have to be considered up to the insect's observation. That condition would prevail despite the fact that every observed and unobserved area of the banner or flag is on the same level as the area where the insect dwells. Regardless of where the insect moved, from its relative down position and relation acquired in the insect's universe. The flag or banner is the insect's universe. In like manner is terrestrial man related to all celestial areas of the universe. Up is everywhere. Up is from every angle of observation on man's terrestrial area. It is the same for celestial man, the terrestrial which terrestrial man considers down or under the celestial is up to observers on the celestial. Though the banner does not describe the realistic arrangement of the universe whole, it may human intelligence on a terrestrial plane to determine the relation of position to other areas of the universe whole. Hence when we journey straight ahead from our assumed terrestrial ends, we will continue to be moving on the same physical level with the terrestrial area of our present knowledge. But in that movement on the same level, we will in fact be progressing into the celestial areas which, from terrestrial observation, must appear to be up. On our arrival at celestial location 5,000 and more miles beyond the assumed terrestrial ends, terrestrial sky areas of the temperate zones and the torrid zone will appear to be up from our celestial locations beyond either pole point. As the terrestrial areas will telescopically appear to be up from the new location beyond the pole points, the luminous sky over all celestial areas other than the area of our occupancy will likewise appear to be up in relation to our newly acquired celestial position beyond the Earth. Now consider the measure of confusion to develop in the insect intelligence when its banner universe is moved into a dark environment and the entire universe area receives a coating of luminous paint. The luminous coating is so applied as to leave certain areas so thinly coated that, in comparison with thickly coated areas, the luminous content cannot be detected. The luminosity will be so vague, in comparison with that of other areas, that the vague areas will not be considered the same as the more luminous areas. The sight of the insect, being equivalent to that of human beings, will add to the confusion, by lens development of every banner universe area into a deceptive globe or sphere. With that development, the vacant areas of the banner universe will be multiplied. Would not the insect intelligence be compelled to conclude that there exist innumerable globular or spherical areas constituting its banner universe? And would not the insect concept hold that space exists between areas of the banner universe? It would be inevitable that the insect be confronted with space, though no space exists in fact between areas of the insect's banner universe. The insect, like its human creators, possesses visual ability which causes lens convergence. And that lens function demands that every luminous area of the banner universe deceptively appear as a globular and therefore isolated body. It may be timely to repeat, when it is stated that the area would deceptively appear globular and isolated, it is the brain that truly sees. Hence, though the detecting lens would find disk areas, the disk area detected automatically becomes a globular and isolated entity to the mind. In common parlance, mind is synonymous to brain, though in reality the mind is the development of brain functioning. However, the result is the same. The lens detects the disk area, in fact the lens creates the disk area. And at once the brain interprets the disk area of lens development as a globular body. As an additional feature to confuse insect intelligence and observation of its universe, we would impose between the insect's sensitive optic lens and its numerous luminous banner universe areas all the chemical elements confronting human observation of luminous celestial areas. How accurately can the insect be expected to determine realistic values of the deceptively globular and isolated luminous areas of its banner universe when observation is influenced by the known factors influencing human observation and conclusions? Some of the influencing agents are as follows. The insect's immediate blue sky would be in constant gaseous turmoil between the insect lens and all banner universe areas. And the same influence would exist for any aiding telescope lens the insect might manufacture. The luminous outer sky surface might project radiation in the stratosphere, depending upon conditions prevailing. Beyond the luminous outer surface of the insect's blue sky, the constant and erratic movement of cosmic rays would interfere with insect observation and influence insect determination of observed banner universe areas. Another influencing agent would be the ultraviolet rays from the sun. Other particles from the sun would also influence observation and conclusions. Such particles, restricted to stratosphere performance, would be dual agents. They would be present in the stratosphere over the insect's immediate sky, and over the luminous sky area under observation by the insect. The radiation from some observed luminous area would, under certain conditions, be reflected in the stratosphere over observed areas. That would contribute another element of confusion. The continuous movement of sky gas on the observed luminous area and the variation of that movement would create all manner of illusions. Variation of the brilliancy of many luminous sky areas would impose further hazard for insect determination of values. And God help the insect intelligence, were it to add to common lens errors the gross deceptions which would result from telescopic magnification of banner universe luminosity. Thereby would be developed all the grotesque entities presented by light shading and light distortion. The human intelligence creating the insect and its banner universe will know that the banner universe is finite. Therefore, it may fail to realize the insect's plight. So that creating intelligence may more fully comprehend, we need but lengthen the banner universe so that the beginning and the end are not to be observed or determined by human intelligence or insect intelligence. Thus the original limited, or finite, banner universe we created for the insect becomes an endless structure sweeping through infinity's darkness. It may be likened to an endless plane that is at times known to envelop one during the dream projections of sleep. And it is within the bounds of conscious projection. Now, we are only deputies of the Supreme Intelligence. It alone may know the beginning and the end of the banner universe. We are restricted to discernment of the insect's plight on the immediate banner universe we know. That area and its conditions are known to our creating intelligence, but the insect is denied such knowledge. Though we may more readily determine the insect's problems on its immediate finite banner universe area, we cannot determine the end, which has become out of bounds for us as well as for the insect. The particular banner universe area we know better than the insect corresponds to our terrestrial area of the greater universe whole. So let us assume that we watch the insect's attempts to reach his heavens above, which seem to be directly overhead from insect observation. Over a period of time we view the insect's flight up from its banner universe location. The insect always is propelled back to an area of the banner universe removed from the point it started from. Finally, with unprecedented speed, the insect makes a desperate effort to attain the points apparently overhead. And the insect does not return to any area of its banner universe. It misses the apparent overhead points, and it misses all areas of the universe. It goes beyond the universe structure. Accordingly, we create an insect replacement. with direct knowledge of the original insect's error of procedure to reach apparent up points. How should we advise the new insect inhabitant of our banner universe? Should we advise it to shoot up or out from its banner universe location, thereby taking it away from the universe structure and points thereon it desired to reach? Or should we, with broader view of the banner universe, advise the insect to move straight ahead from either end of the banner universe area originally designated for insect abode? Naturally, that insect area would have length and width, the same as all other banner universe areas. It cannot be conceived as a mere point to accommodate the ordinary insect on any commonly known point, such as wall, floor, or ceiling. This is an extraordinary insect. It must have exceptional living area. That insect area on the banner universe corresponds to our terrestrial area in the greater universe representing the creation. So despite the fact that insect progress would be barred by apparent dark and vacant space between its permanent location and the luminous banner universe areas it desired to reach, should we not reasonably advise that there he goes shooting up, as it would be to the insect on its area of the banner universe, so it is with terrestrial man on his area of the greater universe. Remember that the flywheel universe described in Chapter 2 is intended only as an illustration. Figure 1. The universe is not constructed in the manner of an enormous pinwheel, nor is any area in fact isolated from its neighboring area. Though the flywheel does not show the realistic contour of the universe structure, the realistic contour of the universe structure is contained in that illustration. A hint should be sufficient for comprehension of the universe contour in the space where it was created. If the hint does not serve, modern civilization is not entitled to know the structure of the universe. Previous pages have disclosed that it is not so much what one sees but, rather, how it is seen. The structure of the universe is shown in the illustration, but it is not shown by simple view of the illustration in the form depicted. None are so blind as they who will not see. Therefore, if one would see, one should look in many ways and from many different angles. In view of the painful knowledge of the globe symbol's magic power over average concept, the handy flywheel illustration was considered the most suitable means to describe how a physical journey can be made into the celestial from beyond the North Pole and South Pole mathematized ends of a supposedly isolated globe Earth. It adequately indicates the illusion of globularity of celestial and terrestrial sky areas. At the same time, it expresses physical continuity of the terrestrial with the celestial. The author knows that inherent in that illustration is a factual model of the universe structure. Figure 1, the flywheel illustration, was inspired, at least in part, by the response of earlier lecture audiences. The response disclosed that concept of our Earth's physical continuity with celestial areas is more readily acquired through visualization of the northern and southern terrestrial extensions as globes added to the original terrestrial globe. It was also disclosed then that comprehension will develop from visualizing the universe whole as to obscured words, connected cylindrical areas. That visualization does not have as sharp an impact on concept because it does not represent so drastic a departure from the globular. Any area of a cylinder can be drawn to globular proportion. The most difficult problem for the average concept 30 years ago was that of supplying flat land surface to the land extensions beyond the pole points. The problem should now be resolved with knowledge that this nation has bases established on the land beyond. With modern discernment of values in a world of reality, one need not question the course of Rear Admiral Richard E. Byrd in February 1947. That course extended for nearly 2,000 miles beyond the Earth. And if the feature was not widely heralded, there's nothing subtracted from the accomplishment. It is certain that there can no longer exist doubt concerning the physical reality of surface land, and mountains, and lakes, making the spaceless course of the Admiral's flight beyond the Earth. In the light of current research and modern discovery, what precisely ordered concept of organized science can be expected to challenge successfully the presently confirmed claim of 30 years ago that such indeterminable land and water course extends into the universe about us? What value can attach to yesteryear's mathematical theories of the universe in the light of irrefutable modern discovery by accredited United States scientific research and explorative agencies? Their findings deny theory's premise, and they establish the Earth as a physical continuity of the luminous celestial areas about the Earth. What difference does it make if the universe whole was created in the form of an enormous flywheel, or as an endless cylinder, or as a banner or a plane with sweeping extent beyond the bounds of mortal concepts? No mortal, as a mortal being, will ever be privileged to leave the universe structure and thereby to view its movement, if it moves. One cannot photograph the motion of a train on which one is riding. But one can leave the train to accomplish optical observation and photographic recording of the train's movement. Words and phrases of conjecture concerning universe contour and movement are toys for childish quibble. The world held an abundance of the conjectural word before fact-finding instruments permitted the sensational discoveries recorded here. And one simple little discovery of infinitesimal fact is capable of dispelling countless centuries of wild and meaningless conjecture. The most important thing for the demonstrative insect created on the banner universe was how to reach other equally substantial areas of its universe. It was denied access to other areas as long as it theorized upon the course presented by deceptive appearances. The insect's relation to other areas of its miniature universe would in no way be changed if its universe had been constructed as the illustrative flywheel universe or as a cylindrical universe. The same illusions would exist, and the insect would encounter the same infinite space if it developed sufficient speed to keep it from returning to other areas of its universe. But the insect would not accomplish journey to apparent up points of its universe by shooting up. That which applies to the insect on its miniature universe also applies to man on his terrestrial area of the greater and realistic universe representing the creation. Man cannot shoot up or out to celestial areas which are apparently up from the terrestrial. The concepts of a connected and continuous spherical flywheel universe and a cylindrical universe whole may be considered of corresponding value. But both present logical universe patterns capable of explaining experienced terrestrial conditions which inaugurated the Copernican theory. Such conditions are the long days, the short days, and the seasons of the terrestrial year. Both concepts are stripped of the illusory, which was basic to the Copernican theory, and they permit immediate acquisition of celestial land areas, whereas the Copernican theory can never permit movement from the terrestrial to the celestial. In addition to the depicted flywheel universe whole, the undulating banner universe constitutes another distinct concept of the universe structure. Both are opposed to the illusory, isolated globe concept of the universe whole, yet they very capably explain experienced terrestrial conditions while affording the definite advantage of providing a course for immediate journey into the universe about us.